minimum and still calls. He's got way too many chips for him to know what to do with them right now. I'm playing basically one hand behind everybody, which is pretty funny because I'm looking at their hands. So he limps, and they got 3,000 total in that pot, so he literally called a bet with a gut shot, or he bet with a gut shot. Wow. And oh, he got called. That's how we're getting. So then it goes check, check probably again, and he bets again. At least he made a better bet on the turn. But he's got to make 2 bets consistent like that. They will make people believe he's got a good hand. So they just check that river. My 5 was good here. Never would have seen that, of course, but pocket 4s. The other guy had A6 actually. Oh, let it limp it in there. Let's see if we can actually crush a set. Nope. He's been limping awfully lot, Mr. Bobo Loco. So that makes me feel like in the tournament when we didn't get to play with him, he got lucky a lot. Since he's limping a lot to see a lot of flops, so I don't know. It's hard to limp all these hands and then I'm calling the 300 all day here. Flop king, check it, he bets, I raise, check call, and he has a 10. So that was a beautiful check call there because he just is playing very poorly. So that was easy money. And then again, he's probably still has that same mentality because that's the person I got lucky on. He just really wants. Wow, look at that. He really wants his money back from the hand I got lucky on him. I would have made some money on this hand. Folded the nuts on the button. See, Jack 10. I will go ahead and put the raise in. Just a call. He calls a ton. Just call, and him the same. $636. He's gonna call me almost 99% of his hands. And now we auto bet. He should fold. Wow, he doesn't fold that. That's impressive. Wow, never mind. He had a monster for once. Back-to-back hands. Glad we didn't have this last hand because we would have lost a ton of chips to him. It's a good flop for us. Good turn. And still a good river. We're going to bet the whole way and win it. So we just made our money back plus I think an extra 1,200 or so, so that's nice. Now we have King Crablar in the blinds, and our friend is checking again with us, so that's perfectly fine with me. Airball. Last time he checked the whole way down with middle pair, so when he bets, I'd assume he has a draw or 10. So I'm gonna go ahead and give him 300 no matter what here. So the nice thing is we've played a lot of hands with a lot of hands for limit with majority of the players here. Actually, no limit, I would raise this hand, but since it's limit, I'm just gonna let it go because it's hard to force out a lot of hands. So someone with 10-9 could call me and I'm screwed. That is definitely not a flop that we want a continuation bet and limit hold'em with 10-5 of diamonds. Ducko check raising. And that is the worst turn card he could have seen. Just call Precious if you have a king. Ugh. I guess since he called, then he really, wow, that is just poor play by him. He led into him on the river again and then called his raise again. I know you have a jack, but some of the plays are just questionable, to say the least. Probably wondering why I probably threw away ace-4 here too, since it is only 5-handed and 4-handed before it got to me. But I just think in limit there's so many bad flops for an unsuited ace hand that it just makes me not want to play it even more. So I just decided to let it go, especially since he's been playing an incredible amount of hands lately. I just decided screw it, we'll let it go. Oh, excuse me. We fold here, ace-6. So we're just basically a no limit versus limit right now. We shorten our range down a big ton. Obviously we're going to call any raise here. There hasn't been many raises honestly on this table in a while, so I was about to say I don't expect it to just go limp pots from majority of this year. I'll call any bet he does here too. So we're gonna go ahead and call, and if it's another low card like that 10 really doesn't hit a lot, we're just gonna check call the whole way. And I have to call him still. Wow, and he flopped monster on us. That sucks. He would have bet that with every single hand he had, though. That's the funny part. So we lost the minimum on that hand, though, so that's a good thing. I'm just going to limp again with Queen Jack. So flop nothing. 3 people behind me. There's most likely no way that this goes to the river or the turn without a bet, so we're just going to let it go. Especially when I'm sure a lot of the players are just trying to trap him to take 1,200 off of him. Wow. Straight diamonds, that's all he had. So, long way to go. This is the portion of the tournament where things will get into it. So now we gotta put in our raises and hope our position holds up. We got a call. It's actually a good flop for us still. We're gonna bet 1,005 and take it down. That's the one thing I've noticed so far. I've only seen 15. I don't know why it says 15 hands. He had to have been here more than 15 hands, but maybe he's only been at our table for 15 hands. He calls like way majority of his hands. He doesn't raise or do much of anything, so he's just limping. He's basically doing what Milano does, but only limping. He raises a lot and gets really aggressive, and everyone at the table knows it now, so everyone's trying to take his chips pretty much. And he checks to him. He's only checked like one other time the whole game. Now we get another good hand for 5-handed, so we're going to go put the raise in. He has not raised in a long time, so I actually would respect a raise from him now, because he's been just playing limp poker a ton. Let's see what he does here with this flop. $1,005 again. and that makes me nervous as he's taking this long. I think he actually flopped. Wow. He usually folds really quick if he's going to fold. But again, I guess we don't see him fold very often, so probably wrong there. But a nice continuation bet. He's actually starting to shorten his range up a lot, which is hilarious. Shorten his range up after the flop. He's not playing as aggressive. He's played 76% of the goddamn hands, though, which is hilarious considering we've seen 113 hands with him. So I like my range a lot. If I have 186 hands, I don't understand. It never keeps my... I have probably like over 1,200 hands total since I've started using the trial version of Hold'em Manager, but it never reloads all of my stats. It says 186 hands only, and it showing me 27% voluntarily put my money in pre-flop and 22% raise pre-flop. Those are good numbers, I think. Anytime Bobo actually bets, it's pretty scary. So ace jack of diamonds, we actually lost a player at our table. He moved, so I'm just assuming that we're down to 8 or 9 handed now. So 9-8 on the button. He calls, so I'm going to let it go. I don't like to, especially when it's this short-handed. The only thing I can do now, pretty much, unless I have a good hand, is basically limp on the button. And I just don't like that play when there's already someone who could very well be trapping with some hand, because you don't see him play many hands. 45 hands total so far, and he's only put his money in 20% of them. So I just don't like the, even though we did get lucky and someone raised there, but I just don't like when someone limps in front of you and then you limp behind them, unless you actually, like if it was a suited hand, I wouldn't have had any problem, but the fact that I would have raised on the button with that hand, if no one limped in front of me, it changes the whole dynamic of it for me. I don't know. I'd just rather get rid of it than throw 300 chips in and hope no one raises kind of deal.